Hello everyone, I am Dr. Swati Gupta and today I am going to explain DE ratio, debt to equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio measures how much debt a company uses compared to its equity to finance its operations and growth. It tells us whether a company is relying more on borrowed money or its own fund or its equity to run the business. Formula for D ratio: debt to equity ratio is equal to total liabilities divided by shareholders' equity. What is total liability? It includes all the company's debts such as loans, bonds, and other financial obligations. Shareholders' equity, the money invested by owners, or we can say shareholders. It includes retained earnings also. We will try to understand it with an example. Let's say one company has total liability of rupee 5 lakh and shareholders equity of rupee 2 lakh 50,000. D ratio is equal to total liability divided by shareholders equity, which is 5 lakh divided by 2 lakh 50,000 is equal to 2. D ratio is equal to 2, it means the company has 2 times that of equity. The company has rupee 2 of debt for every rupee 1 of equity. If D ratio is less than 1, it means the company relies more on equity incompatibly to debt. If D ratio is equal to 1, it means the company uses debt and equity equally. But if D ratio is greater than 1, it means the company uses more debt than equity. If company has low debt to equity ratio, what does it mean? The company relies more on shareholders' money, more on equity rather than on loans or debt. Advantages of low debt to equity ratio. First, lower financial risk. When a company has a low D ratio, it means it is not heavily dependent on borrowed money. That's why it has less financial obligations like interest payments or loan repayments. It makes the company more financially stable, especially during economic downturns or when business slows down. Second, attractive to investors. A low D ratio means that a company relies more on equity rather than debt to run its business. This makes it a safer investment which can attract more investors because it signals financial stability, lower risk, steady profits, and higher chance of dividends. Third, stability in cash flow. A low D ratio leads to stable cash flow because the company doesn't have to make large debt payments. This gives it more flexibility to manage daily expenses, invest in growth, and handle financial challenges. Now, disadvantages of low D ratio. First, missed growth opportunities. A low D ratio means a company avoids borrowing and relies mostly on its own money for funding. While this reduces financial risk, it can also limit the company's ability to expand quickly because it doesn't take advantages of debt financing to fuel growth. This may slow down growth, especially if the company needs a large amount of money to enter in the new markets or expand its operations. Second, inefficient capital structure. A company's capital structure is the mix of debt and equity. If a company relies too much on equity and avoids debt completely, it may not be using its capital efficiently. Debt can be cheaper than equity because interest payments are tax deductible, while dividend paid to shareholders are non-tax deductible. It means equity financing is more expensive. Companies that avoid debt miss out these cost saving advantages and make their capital structure less efficient. Third, slower returns for shareholders. If a company relies only on equity financing, it might not generate high returns for its shareholders. As a result, shareholders might receive lower dividends or see slower stock price growth. Now, in the case of high debt to equity ratio, it means the company relies heavily on loans for its funding. Advantages of high D ratio: first, amplifies returns. Higher returns for shareholders. When a company takes a loan at low interest and invests it in projects that generate higher returns, it increases profits and higher returns for shareholders. Second, ownership is preserved. This does not affect ownership because the company borrows money instead of selling shares, and loans don't dilute shareholders' ownership. Existing shareholders retain control over company decisions. Third, tax savings. Interest on debt is deductible from taxable income and it reduces the amount of tax. It makes debt financing cheaper than equity in many cases. Now, risk of a high D ratio. First, default risk. If a company takes too much debt, it must make regular interest and principal payments. If revenues fall, the company might struggle to repay loans, especially during economic downturns or unexpected crises. Second, reduce profitability. High debt means high interest payments, which can reduce overall profits. Even if a company earns good revenue, a large portion of its earnings goes towards paying interest instead of reinvesting in the business. It might make the company less profitable in the long run. Third, risk to credit worthiness. If the company struggles to pay debt, its credit rating may drop, making it harder or more expensive to borrow money in the future. Now, why the D ratio is important? First, risk assessment. The D ratio helps investors and lenders to understand how risky a company is. A high D ratio means the company relies heavily on debt, increasing financial risk, and a low D ratio suggests lower risk, but it might also indicate slower growth. If the company is not leveraging debt effectively, investors and lenders use the D ratio to know whether a company is financially stable or at a risk. Second, leverage indicator. The D ratio shows how much the company depends on loans to fund growth. Some level of debt is good because it helps companies expand faster. However, too much debt can lead to financial distress if the company struggles to generate enough cash flow to cover loan payments. Third, industry comparison. D ratio is useful for comparing companies within the same industry. Some industries naturally have higher D ratios because they require heavy investments in equipment and infrastructure, while other sectors operate with lower D ratio because they don't need as much capital. That's why D ratio ensures fair analysis by comparing companies within the same sector. Now, limitations of D ratio. First, industry differences. The D ratio is not one size fits all. It varies depending on the industry. Some industries required huge capital investments, leading to naturally higher D ratio. As I told you, other sectors that operate with fewer assets have lower D ratios. That's why we should always compare D ratio within the same industry to get an accurate picture of financial health. Second, doesn't show debt quality. The D ratio only shows the total debt amount. It doesn't tell that it is short term or long term debt. Short term debt is riskier because it needs to be repaid soon. Apart from this, two companies with the same D ratio might have different interest cost. Third, accounting variations. Different financial reporting methods can affect the ratio's accuracy. Some companies classify certain obligations as equity while others list them as liabilities. International companies follow different accounting standards, leading to variation in reported DE ratio. Concluding it, we can say that the ideal D ratio depends on the company's industry, growth stage, and economic conditions. Investors should analyze it with other financial metrics for a more comprehensive evaluation and better judgment. Thank you.